Any JJK fans out there? Yeah, just a few, right? Well, I have the honor of sitting down and talking with one of the main characters, voice actors from Jujutsu Kaisen, my friend Adam McArthur. We're going to sit down and have a conversation. Give him a round of applause, please.
Thank you, sir. Okay, cool. Okay.
Welcome, man. Welcome.
Thanks, dude.
All right.
What's up, guys?
How are you guys? Anybody had a chance to go to meet him yet? Yeah, a couple of
Yes.
you? Right on.
I see a lot of familiar faces out there. Yeah, hey, what's up?
This is your first Collecticon, right?
This is my first Collecticon.
I've noticed that your line, at least yesterday, was pretty significant. You
Yes.
had to meet a lot of people yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Yesterday, even up until the panel time, it's been
Yeah.
slammed, so it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
everybody knows you're the voice of Yuji Itadori.
Yep.
But you're also in a brand new anime that's, I don't know if it's surprising. It surprised me. Kaiju number 8.
I think it's surprised a lot of people. Yeah, Kaiju number 8.
It's really good. Really, really good.
Listen, after the trauma of season 2 of JJK, Kaiju number 8 has been a breath of fresh air.
It's like a breath of fresh, a little
Yes.
refreshing.
I'm like, oh, I get to joke and have fun. I'm not crying on the floor. My friends aren't dead. You know, this is a good time.
Yeah. So speaking of Jujutsu Kaisen, we will try to avoid talking about anything that's not currently been animated, just
Yes.
for
no
courtesy
manga
to you
spoilers.
guys.
Yeah.
But do you read the manga?
Yes.
Are you just okay?
Yes.
So there are certain things that happen in the manga that are pretty wild. So
Yes.
I've talked to a couple different voice actors, and some voice actors like to read the manga to kind of get a grasp of where things are going. Some like to be surprised. How come you chose to read the manga? Is it because you're a fan of the story, or you just want to know more about what's happening so you're better prepared when you go to recording?
Yeah.
What's your reasoning?
So JJK is one of these like once in a generation shows. Like the hype for JJK and the fandom of JJK, it's exploded in a way that like I want to be an active participant in it and not just somebody who's like a small part of it. You know what I mean? So I feel like in order to be an active part, I need to keep up and know like what the fandom is currently talking about and what the memes are, that are getting posted on TikTok and stuff like that. So I like to pay attention to all that stuff. But also like from an acting standpoint, I really do like to know where I'm headed.
Yeah.
So that if there are opportunities to like sprinkle in little nuances early on that maybe later on you'll be like, oh man, I remember his performance in season 2.
Yeah.
He had this and now that's why he had that, things like that. And I think, especially if like for English dubs, because we are already so limited with what we get to do, meaning like, the animation's already finished, right?
Yeah.
So we have our start point and our end point, and we have to fit all of our acting in within that. It's like acting in a box. But I like to know where I'm headed so that way I can sprinkle in little things and try and make it, more real, more emotional, and all that good stuff.
That's so good, and that's such a great perspective too, because I'm somebody that's loved storytelling and reading and stuff like that since I was 5, so 36 years, some odd. And I love it when something happens in a story, and I remember, maybe it was 2 or 3 books ago or a couple of seasons ago, and I'm like, oh, there was this thing back then that ties into this, and it's a really cool way to bring things together.
Totally.
So that's really cool that you like to read ahead in the manga, so you kind of understand where things are going and give those little Easter eggs for people that are paying attention.
Totally.
It's really, really cool.
I think when all is said and done with JJK, like when it's finally over one day, we're going to look back and we're going to be like, oh my God, like look at this imagery from episode 1 and how it tied into like season whatever we get to, or like there already is so much of that. So I want to try and have an idea of like the things that Gege, the author, is trying to do so that I can also, help service the story as much as possible.
That's so good. And I like to say that JJK, like you said, JJK is kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime type of anime. And something I think is so interesting about it is it was released at the perfect time.
Totally.
For those of us that have been, anime fans for decades. JJK probably wouldn't have done as well 20 years ago. But now because anime is so popular and we have so many more people watching, and it's came out at the perfect time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's just been I wouldn't say revolutionary, but it's brought a lot of people into the space. And I'll give you one of my theories. I'm not sure how JJK is going to end. Again, we're not going to spoil anything, but I almost want it to not have a happy ending.
No, don't say that.
That's just not because...
Don't tell me that. I need my good boy to be okay.
Just from the perspective
No,
of...
this panel's over. I'm gonna roll out of here.
Well, now that doesn't mean anything bad has to happen to Itadori. Maybe maybe Itadori makes it all the way through or is there at the end. But to really put it on the pedestal of something unique and something special, give it an ending that is really going to stand out from all the other stuff that's coming out right now. Because there's a lot for it to compete with right now. There's a lot of great shows out there.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion. That's my perspective on that.
I think I'm still trusting that Gege is going to do something unexpected.
Yes,
something,
100%.
Something that is a version of things we've seen, but his own twist. Because a lot of stuff in JJK is just that. Like, we have character tropes, and we have, like things that are very genre-specific for anime that we've seen in other anime, but they're done with just, like, a slight twist in JJK, which I think is really unique. So I think the same thing is going to happen with the ending. But people always ask me, like, do you know what's going to happen? Do you have a direct line of communication with Gege? The answer is no. I have no idea. I'm looking at the leaks every week, just like everyone else, So
yeah, you kind of have to get to a point where you're either okay with being spoiled or being current with the stories, because when something is as popular as this show is, you can't get on any social media platform without seeing a meme or something, and then like, is that real?
Yeah.
Is this people just trying to be, to mess with people? Like, you can't even
the
really tell.
algorithm works against you. You
Oh my gosh, yes.
JJK videos, and you're gonna know who's someone's mom.
Yeah, and you have people like me that are kind enough to be like, hey, there's a spoiler coming, but then you have people that's just like, here, first 3 seconds, oh, this person gone, and you're like, why?
Why?
I didn't want to know that.
No one asked for that.
So speaking of Jujutsu Kaisen and voice acting, question I always like to ask, how did you get into voice acting? Like, what was the catalyst for you that made you decide, oh, I want to do this for my career, or I'm going to do this for my career? What was your inspiration for coming into this space and making it your career?
Yeah, so I think, my 2 earliest memories in life are wanting to do martial arts and be an actor.
Cool.
Like, since I was a kid. So I begged my parents forever, can I take an acting class? Can I get an agent? Like, I don't even know how I knew you needed an agent, but I was like, can I get an acting class? Can I get an agent? All this stuff. Can I do martial arts? And then finally, when I was 11, my parents put me in martial arts. I've been training ever since. Like, I still train to this day. And then when I was 16 for Christmas, they gifted me an acting class. Wow. And so I took an acting class. I grew up in Northern California, so I took an acting class in San Francisco. And the teacher was really well connected in the San Francisco entertainment industry. And I got a voiceover audition for a Macy's radio commercial where they needed like teen boy voices to talk about back to school clothes or something. And I ended up getting it. And then I realized that I could get paid to talk, which is what I used to get sent to the principal's office for. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to keep doing this.
Nice.
Sounds fun.
Right on. Very cool.
So that was like, that was a long time ago. My first paid professional gig was in 1998.
Wow, okay.
And then I've had like variations of success in my career, like different aspects of entertainment. I used to do a lot of on-camera commercials. It's like you literally just turn on the TV and I would be in a bunch of commercials. I would do like 10 commercials a year, something like that. Then that industry sort of like dipped big time, and I refound voice. I was still doing VO at that time, but it just wasn't my main source of income. And then like 2010, 2011, I got a new voiceover agent that is like one of the best in LA. I got really lucky. And I booked Star Wars Clone Wars back when it was on Cartoon Network. And that kind of like kicked things off. So I did 3 episodes on that show. I did a Disney pilot like soon after that. And then about a year later is when I booked Star vs. the Forces of Evil. So,
and then it just kind of all went from there.
It's kind of all
the great thing about you're voicing Yuji Itadori is that'll basically live forever. Like, JJK is incredibly popular.
Bro, I'm going to be so old.
You're going to be
I'm going to be so... I'm
hey,
gonna be
we love David Lodge here, but you'll be just like David Lodge in 30 years, still up here doing stuff like this, because you're a character that people love, and that's really cool. It goes to show that you get a role and it's become successful and you do a great job at it, you'll be able to be that for
It's very
forever.
cool.
Yeah, it's very
totally.
Cool.
Yeah, I keep saying I'm the president of the Good Boys Club. I keep getting cast as all the good boys. I got Marco, I got Itadori, Chifuyu from Tokyo Revengers, and now Ichikawa from Kaijin Brave.
You'll get your opportunity. I got to interview Eric Vale a while back, and he got cast as a bad guy as Shigaraki finally.
Yeah.
And he's like,
and he's great.
It's so fun to be mean to the little kids when they come up because they want me to be Shigaraki.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'll roll off. Don't give me another reason. I'll roll off the stage again.
We are running behind, but if we have a couple minutes, if anybody wants to come forward to the mic and ask Adam a question, you're welcome to. We'll take a few questions here for a few minutes before we wrap up, okay? We got a little Mahito cosplay.
I know. Sorry, I don't accept questions from Mahito cosplayers. Okay, thank you. Next question.
You gotta scream Mahito. Hi, so I met you yesterday, very appreciative of the recording you sent me. What would be your advice? So if someone wanted to transition into eventually like moving to Los Angeles, is that something someone should wait to do, or kind of like where along in their career with it, or just kind of like go for it?
I mean, there's no right answer. I would say
Yeah.
the most important thing is making sure that you can live in LA, like
Right, yeah.
financially. Like that's kind of the most important thing.
Yeah.
Making sure that you do what you have to do in order to do what you love to do.
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, you can move there with like no experience in VO and just go out there to pursue it, like, you know, hard.
Yeah.
But the main thing is kind of being able to live out there. It's
Right.
expensive, and having another job to support yourself while
Right.
you're doing it. So I think that's kind of the most important thing. Like, if you're ready to make that move, then go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Um,
And is that the place that you would recommend? Like that's where everything is.
I mean, there's the cool
Well,
thing.
Crunchyroll Studios is in Dallas.
yeah.
So there's
Okay,
a
right.
lot of voice actors that people recognize from a lot of the mainstream anime
Mm-hmm.
live in that area or have lived in that area, and now they've moved off and they'll either telecommute or come in every once in a while. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on what you want to do. I mean, I would say if you're going to go for like big stuff, which I think everyone should go for big stuff, LA is kind of the place to be. LA, New York, like a major city. But there's
Yeah.
stuff you can do in Chicago, Dallas. I'm sure there's like a scene here for voiceover, but it's probably going to be more like industrial, like corporate videos and
Yeah.
e-learning and things like that. But all of that stuff, we all of us, we do that stuff too. Like
Yeah.
one of my regular gigs is I do all the promo stuff for Disney XD. So if you turn on the Disney XD channel, I'm the guy who's like, we'll be right back with more DuckTales on Disney XD.
Yeah.
Like I do all that, okay? Yeah, which is really fun, and it's a great, consistent paying job that I've had for like 7 years. But there's all these like little niche areas of VO that you shouldn't. Well, sometimes people go like, hey, I want to be an anime dub actor. Like, what do I do? And I'm like, first of all, you should want to do everything. You should not just want to do that, because
Yeah.
anime doesn't pay good. And you can't really live off of it unless you're living in a place like Dallas where it's all you're doing.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
any like quick burst tips on like getting into any like realm of the industry is like getting with an agency, I'd imagine.
Taking acting classes.
Taking acting
Like getting
okay.
really good at the thing that you want to do, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have done a few acting gigs before.
Yeah.
But are you able to say a line from JJK?
Which line?
Scream Mahito?
No. Don't make me scream. I've been talking to people all
Yeah,
weekend.
you're good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
thank you.
You guys got the famous Bulbasaur shirts.
Yeah, the Bulba store.
Yeah, those are so cool.
They blew up from their
TikTok?
vendor video
Yeah,
style things.
yeah.
They've done a really great job with that. Okay, sorry, off topic.
No, you're good. A lot of us come out and kind of fangirl over meeting you and a lot of the other people. Is there anybody in the industry that you have met that you've done that for, or anybody that you would want to meet and would fangirl over if you got to meet them?
Good question.
Yeah, okay. So I met Ralph Macchio, who was the Karate Kid. That was awesome. That was awesome. And I was like, hello, sir. How are you? How are you? It was like, that was so cool. I was very excited to meet Chuck Norris before the cancellation happened. That would have been very cool.
He's the sweetest man.
I've-
We met him in Dallas, and he picked my 3-year-old up and gave him a hug, and all of his handlers were like, "You can't do that." And I was like, "Please bless my son. This is totally fine."
Please, karate chop my kid. Please,
You wanna
please.
throat chop my 6-year-old?
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, I kind of geek out over like martial arts stuff almost more than actors. I'm kind of a bad actor in that, like, if you're my friend and I know what you've done, but if we haven't met yet, I just don't know. Like, yeah, I'm kind of bad at that. Bad at recognizing like names and faces. Jackie Chan would be another one. If I ever met Jackie Chan, I would just probably not know what to do with myself. I feel like I was in the room with royalty. But honestly, like my friends that I get to work with all the time, like I am truly like in awe and inspired by them. The JJK cast is like a who's who of like in amazing things. Robbie and Ray and Anne, who voices Nobara, KG, who voices Gojo. Like they're all just super talented people. So, I mean, I kind of geek out over everyone all the time. But if we're talking like you'll see awkward Adam, which almost never happens, it would be like like Chuck Norris or Jackie Chan or something like that. Yeah.
Right on.
Good question, buddy. Thank you so much.
Great question, man.
You're good. Get all up in it.
Hey, so I was wondering, obviously you have two great characters like that are from new animes like Ichikawa and Yuji, but are there like any like new animes, or I guess even old, you can answer old too, but that you would like want to do a character, or like that you see like I want to do like a character from this show, like are there like any of those?
I mean, it would be cool to be. I'm collecting like these big kind of like these. What are they called? Like tentpole anime, like kind of like big. Like JJK is like a bigger one, right? Kaiju number 8 is getting a lot of hype right now, so it's kind of like a bigger one at the moment. So I feel like I'm very lucky to do that. After JJK season 2 ended, I was like, oh my god, like I'm crying every week in the booth. Like, can I just do like a romance anime, or can I do something
slice
that
of
involves
life?
food? Can I just like an anime where my character just eats and talks about what he's eating, like
fair.
anything like that? But no, it would be cool to be in like Demon Slayer, obviously, just because it's got
Yeah,
so
with
much hype.
Like with Infinity Castle coming, that would be
Yeah,
cool.
something like that would be cool. What else? Noragami is getting a season 3.
Yeah,
And
I just started watching Noragami, and it's
I
surprisingly really good.
I really like Noragami. It's one of my favorites. So something in Noragami would be really cool. I've always been really fascinated by cells at work.
Okay.
I just think it's such a unique concept for a show, and just like so cool and science-based and stuff like that. So something like that would be really fun. But to be honest with you, people ask me all the time, they're like, oh, what's your dream job? Or like, what's your goal? And stuff like that. And I've been voice acting for 26 years, and I always have been like a very goal-oriented person. And I don't know if it's just because I'm like getting older or what it is, but when I take a step back and I look at my career and like what I've done, I'm just so thankful that I've been able to do like a lead on a Disney show, a lead on like an anime that happens to be really good and also really popular, the voice of a network, like all this stuff. And I think for me, the thing that I look for the most, or that excites me the most, is working with my friends. Yeah. And so like Robbie, Ray, and their other buddy Max, who's in the Lava Boys.
Oh my
So
gosh, their true comedy
they're
show
s-
is so
yeah,
funny.
They're so funny. So Robbie Damon, Ray Chase, and then Max Middleman. They're working on something. I'm not going to say exactly what it is because I don't know if I can. But they're working on something together that they just invited me to come and do a role in. And that stuff like that is like dream jobs. You know, that's like a total dream job right now. So yeah.
Makes sense. Thank you so much.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
We are running a little behind schedule. We can take 2 more questions, guys. So the next 2 for everybody else, I do apologize, but I got to think about the other panels.
Yeah. I'll be back at my table. So if we don't get to your question, you can come by.
Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's right back there. I'm sure you'd be willing to
Yeah.
talk and sign for people.
Totally.
Hi again.
Hello, Sukuna.
So I was wondering if there's any like favorite characters, like, you know, do you have any favorite characters that you voice with, or like any favorite fights, or like just villains that you fight? Like, is there any of those favorites that you just absolutely like look at your performance and you're like, damn, that was good?
I mean, honestly, all of it. No, I'm just kidding. That's so wrong. No. So I'm not, in general, like, I'm not a big favorites guy. So if you're like, what's your favorite food? I'll sit here and be like,
It's not fair to all the other food.
yeah, there's too many things that I like. And it's kind of the same with like my characters. It would be really hard for me to pick a favorite character that I've voiced. But in JJK, non-Yuji favorite character is definitely Toto. I love
yeah.
Toto.
Me too.
And I love all of the Yuji Toto interactions. So like,
I have to ask.
yes.
That one scene, what did Toto clap with? You know the scene I'm talking
Oh,
about.
yeah. What did he clap with?
Yeah. his fake cheeks that aren't on his face?
Yeah. No, Toto can make it clap, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? That's canon. Toto can make it clap. That's the true
I'm
essence.
sorry, I had to ask.
That's the true essence of the boogie woogie. You know what I mean? So yeah, all the stuff with Yuji Toto. Season 1, Yuji Toto was amazing.
So great.
Season 2, Yuji Toto was also amazing. I mean, the fact that like Yuji's gone through all this traumatizing stuff, and his besto friendo is the one who can like get him off the floor from the fetal position with tears in his eyes.
Yeah.
That was so cool. And then favorite fight scene, hands down from season 2, was Yuji versus Choso.
Yeah.
The,
oh, so
the,
good.
the
so
Yuji
good.
versus Choso, like, one of my favorite things in anime is when they do like kind of grounded, slightly more realistic fights, like where it's like, you know, like the Sukuna Maharaga was also cool, but it's like they're crushing through buildings
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. So that's like we can't really like fathom that. But the fight choreography, the lighting, the animation.
The fight scene where they go into the bathroom and they're
bathroom.
confined in there and they can't really do too much.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
Also, just like as an avid martial artist and martial arts movie fan, like there were so many like homages to famous martial arts movies that it was just epic. So yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Hello.
What's up?
My question for you is in JJK, there's a lot of really cool curse techniques.
Yeah.
Which curse techniques do you like the best or find the most interesting?
Oh. Curse techniques? Dang. In JJK, all I can think of was ones that I've made up on other panels before that I would use against people.
I mean, like Toto's Boogie Woogie is pretty awesome.
Boogie Woogie is
Yeah.
probably my favorite.
I think it's probably one of the most popular as well.
Yeah, Mahito's
Idol
domain expansion is probably the most disgusting thing I've ever
Yeah.
seen. What else? Chimera Shadow Garden, like Megumi's domain and all that stuff. That episode in season 1 was amazing.
So
Robbie
cool.
like crushed
Yeah.
that episode.
Yeah.
That was so cool. Yeah, all the powers in JJK, while they are confusing and it takes a minute to like wrap your mind around, are so cool.
Yeah. Once
Yeah.
you figure it out,
Yeah.
it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool question.
Thanks, man.
Everybody, thank you for your questions. Sorry we couldn't take
Yes,
any more.
thank you.
Adam does have a booth back there. You probably last I looked, it's not like hours long wait or anything. If you guys want to go and
Yeah.
say hi, get an autograph, he'll be back there for you guys. Let's give a round of applause for Adam. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
hanging out
guys.
with us today, my
Yeah,
friend.
dude, this was awesome.